Um, let me brief you and the other participant about the Global Compact Network. I'm sure that you will be knowing about this its background. Lekin Global Compact Network was came into being in the year 2000. This was the brainchild of Mr. Kofi Annan, then General Secretary of United Nations, and he was aiming that the business should also participate in the efforts being made by United Nations to enhance the efforts of United Nations all over the world. So it was his opinion that the business should commit towards 10 established principles towards human resource, towards the human environment, towards corruption, and then the labor administration and labor management. So he devised 10 principles, and he asked all the businesses all over the world to participate in that program. He called it and referred it, termed it as Global Compact, and those 10 principles were widely distributed among the business community. And he was hoping that the people would be, especially business people, would be following those principles, and so happened in such a way that those established principles in the 2000 were widely accepted by the business communities, and now in 176 countries, the local network has been established in the very short span of 22 plus years. Pakistan is one of them. So there are four principles belong to environment, where they have asked to business community to endorse their efforts, and they endorse how they can protect the environment. So today our program is the ninth webinar. Out of 10 principles, we have gone through these 8 principles, and we had this webinar in Pakistan, where we invited all the business community to attend the program. So today is the ninth program, and it is about the environment. And we are asking how business should encourage the development and diffusion of environmentally friendly technologies. So for that, we have invited two of our eminent guests. One is Mr. Haris Malik. Mr. Haris Malik is working for Worldwide Fund as a manager landscape, and his role encompasses his involvement with the Dutch Fund for Climate and Development (DFCD) project, where he is actively facilitating projects aimed at fostering sustainable practices. Harissa, please correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Haris is diligently monitors the entire value chain and advocates for resources that contribute to environmental well-being. We have requested Mr. Haris Malik to share his valuable extensive knowledge on how business can support the development of eco-friendly technologies, thereby fostering a sustainable environment. At the same time, we have invited Madam Nabila Faisal. She is working as a manager, health, safety, and environment at Hinopak Motors Limited. She has more than 20 years of professional experience, mainly with the safety management, FST, safety and environmental management. She has specialized in OSHA and environmental management system, with a profound knowledge of occupational health and safety regulations and requirement both locally and internationally. Madam Faisal would also share her knowledge with us about how businesses can help develop eco-friendly technology, thus helping with a better environment. So considering this background, Mr. Haris Malik and Madam Nabila, you would appreciate the efforts of Global Compact Network of Pakistan, which is one of the local network among, as I mentioned, you 176 plus countries, और जो अपने कोलीग्स को, अपने बिजनेस कोलीग को खास तौर पर ये बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ग्लोबल कॉम्पैक्ट नेटवर्क पाकिस्तान को किस तरीके से पाकिस्तान में बिजनेस से सपोर्ट किया जा रहा है, और कैसे हम बिजनेस को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं by disseminating the knowledge on these 10 principles of a global compact network. So, having said that, so should I start from, as the famous saying goes, ladies first, if you allow me, Mr. Haris Malik. So,
Sure.
Madam Nabila would be, may I request Madam Nabila to say a few words to begin with about the whole principle and how they at Hinopak are helping to achieve this the goal of the principle. So, Madam Nabila, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Akram, and welcome to Sir Mr. Harris. Thank you for letting me participate in this environment principle 9, how the business has should be adopting the environmental friendly technologies, how it should be promoting those technologies in the business communities and all that. So far, just a brief introduction of Hinopak. We have been one of the first organization to adopt ISO 14001 in back 2001. So it's almost more than 20 years we have adopted this environmental management system. The basic concept was to introduce the environmental conservation and promote the environmental conservation activities in the organizations. Since the last 20 years, Hinopak has been involved in adopting and promoting the different technologies. I have actually prepared a small presentation. If you allow me, I would like to share it with the participant, which will better improve.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Well, but please also take care of the time also. Huh? Please go ahead.
Sure.
But please, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Let's see.
Basic is to incorporate what we have to do in Principle 9. We have to make the environment, to promote environment technologies, and that should be more available to our stakeholders, and we should let them know how we can benefit from that. So basic or concept is what technology environmental friendly. We should start from the raw material to our supply chain to the production and everything, how we are managing our waste, both hazardous and non-hazardous, how we are minimizing our landfill, water conservation, energy consumption, how we are waste to energy, like converting the non-recyclable waste in promoting in the more usable form of energy like heat, fuels, etc. Now, how it benefits us, the businesses, it reduces the waste and cost, it complies with regulations, it attracts eco-conscious customer, it gives a promote a more healthier and safer workplace. Definitely, if you are controlling your hazardous waste to then other like pollutants, then giving a more healthier environment atmosphere to our employees. Improve disaster recovery, like if you have everything online on clouds. So if there's any disaster, be able to retrieve your data because it's all online on. Then it's also track the investment and it's basically the social responsibility. Okay, now what is the pathway, how we can promote environmental technologies, environment friendly activities, use less paper. There are certain things we can do without any investment, like start using print only when necessary, print both sides of the paper, and contract the local contractor for the recycling of the paper generating in your organization. Then limit vampire power. Now, this is a phenomena, in the modern machines, equipment, usually they are on the standby positions. During that standby, even your laptop, your computer, any machine is utilizing a little amount of energy, but it is utilizing. This is called vampire power phenomena. So we can limit that, shut it down when not in use, stop to unplug the devices. Efficient use of energy savers. Instead of using the normal bulb of 200 watts, 100 watts, you can use the energy saver, which also utilize, like, which can do your energy saving of turn off the lights. have the concept, start the concept in the organization, like turning the artificial light efficiently, use of sunlight where possible. Install the motions automatically shut down when not in use. Some of the government policies which which promote the environmental activities is the Safe Pollutant Prevention Act. Then we have Air Emission Act, Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, Waste Management regulation to ban certain pollutant permits, like ban on SOC, substance of environmental concern, like heavy metals. जिसको आप कहते हैं, these are concerned arsenic, cadmium, chromium, copper. And we should ban and we should minimize, control the use of very simple mercury products, very simply lead-free paints, वगैरह we could use in our products and manufacturing. Control COC is chlorinated organic compound. So basically, substance, any chemical having COC is carcinogenic in nature. Its use can cause cancer. So you should ban those also. So इसी तरह simple as that, how to measure the environmental impact is carbon emissions. We can calculate the energy consumptions and water waste pollutions. We should know how to control those.
Okay.
So the benefits for better adopting this environmental is always give a better brand image. You know, the sustainability has the impact always in now the global market. We always prefer company organizations who are working on the sustainability development, energy conservation, it reduces your energy, waste reduction, carbon footprint, it improves your business efficiencies and its cost. So till now, then again we'll join what we are doing in Hinopak. Till now, we'll be just sharing this this presentation.
All right. That's great. That's great. Okay, we'll come back to you, Madam Nabila, on that. Definitely, we'd like to see your very ambitious environmental initiatives you have taken. I'm sure that you would be giving us some examples also for those areas जो आपने इसके अंदर mention किए हैं. Now, can I request Mr. Haris Malik to share his views on the topic? So, Mr. Haris Malik, over to you now, please.
Thank you so much, Akram. Very nice to be part of this initiative. As you are all aware, the WWF is Worldwide Fund for Nature. So our entire existence depends on nature conservation. And particularly this project that I'm looking after is very different from what the organization generally does. We still concentrate on conservation, and we are still about adapting and facilitating practices which help in enhancing the environment. DFCD is a totally different initiative, which is not donor-based. So it's not like that we get a certain amount of funding which is geared towards a project and we facilitate or run that project, and after that is over, we measure the results and we move on. This is an ongoing effort, and DFCD stands for Dutch Fund for Climate and Development. So it's a fund that is initiated by the government of Netherlands, and WWF is its execution partner. In Pakistan, they have partnerships with the WWF as well as another Dutch-based NGO, which is SNB. So our initiative in Pakistan, so DFCD has been around for the last 2 years in Pakistan, and our goal or our mission is to facilitate projects or facilitate business owners with initiatives which are geared towards the SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. As many SDGs as their projects can cover, we can facilitate them. What we bring on the table is the technical expertise of executing different practices, and more importantly, how we define sustainable practice is see, sometimes we just look into the financial aspect of the business, or is the organization profitable? which is very important. At the end of the day, all businesses are there to generate money or generate source of revenue. And if they're not making money, that is dangerous. It's not, they cannot survive for a longer period of time if they are not profitable. So while the business are profitable, what we can do is we can look at the two lesser or the two ignored aspects, which we feel are primarily what the organizations in Pakistan are now focusing on, which is the social aspect and the environmental aspect. So we define it sustainability on the principles of the triple bottom line, which is we do understand that financial gain is important, but at the same time, what can the organization do for the social development of the area or the vicinity in which the organization is operating, how it is enhancing the people in the how it's enhancing the livelihood, because obviously the organization is having a reach which can be limited to a particular geographical area depending upon the nature of their business. And the other aspect is the environment. So depending upon the nature of the business, how well are they taking care of the environment? What are the practices that they're adopting, and how those practices can be in line with certain aspects which can minimize the degradation to the environment. So our fund not only encourages such practices, but we offer them financial viability in terms of we have a three-step model. So what we do in step
Okay.
1 and 2 is we provide them grant, which can range up to, depending upon the nature of the business, can go up to 350,000 euros. And then what we do is in the long-term viability of that business, we also provide loan facilitation. So it's a collaborative effort. Like I said, that most of the NGO structure, or most of the NGOs traditionally would work on a project basis, whereas we work on an ongoing partnership where we enhance the business, gear them towards practices. And the most important aspect of any business when we talk about moving to the environment, which we will discuss upon further as well, but I just wanted to briefly touch it, was that the cost of going environment friendly. That aspect is because of certain policies or because of the adaptation required or the adaptation cost being such that the organizations, and obviously the flexibility in terms of environmental practices in Pakistan, where we do have a definite policy, but the implementation of that policy leaves a lot to be desired. So we want to encourage the organization not to leverage on the loopholes in the system, but to be part of that change. And we think that we are providing a small role, but the initiative is there to facilitate, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger as we bring more businesses to our fold. So thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Okay. Haris Saab, my question would be to you is, yes, you are there to provide funds and grants, etc., depending on the project. My question would be to you is, since you're offering the kind of jobs to be done by the government at the stage, but you being an NGO are providing this kind of fund and for efforts, and also your technical capabilities the WWF has. My question to you is still showing the respect toward the business. Okay, go ahead and start this challenge, this environmental friendly practices. But what sort of challenges being faced by the businesses when they are attempting to develop or adopt environmental friendly technologies in Pakistan? So, kind of challenges, I would really request you to let us know what is your opinion about it, please.
Considering the current circumstances, one of the biggest cost, again, it depends on the nature of the project. Some projects are very, like, I'll give you an example of two projects that we're facilitating right now. One has a very little reliance on the technology aspect. So the maximum aspect of that technology is using alternative energy source in terms of solar panels for their day-to-day operations. So that is an easily acquired technology. The other aspect or the other project that we're facilitating is about enhancing or reducing the uh, carbon footprint by having a sort of manufacturing process which is more friendly to the environment. So acquisition of that technology, making that technology available in Pakistan, the challenges that go along with the tough financial situation that the country is. So most of our limitations are technological part, and that is again a costly part of that business. So like I said, a lot of businesses would shy away from such practices because the upfront cost required for adaptation or molding their business to be more environmental, like installing solar panels, is just one aspect. So it's not you are getting clean energy, but depending upon how much your energy requirement is, maybe that cannot be fully incorporated by just using alternative energy. You might still end up using traditional energy along with the combination of that. So the goal is to not just be there to just for the sake of, because we understand it's a long-term process. So it cannot happen overnight, or the businesses cannot just stop or like turn off a switch and turn on another switch. We again try to be reasonable with our approach. So what we do is we design a sort of a work plan, which is around, let's say we start with the initial first year of operations, how the organization is going to incorporate various aspects of technology, how they're going to mold their business, what are the technical expertise that we have, which we can then benefit the organization with, what are the technical aspects, because obviously we cannot have all the expertise in-house. So there are a lot of aspects which require external involvement. So we again facilitate the organization in getting those expertise or leveraging the global network of reach we have as an organization, because obviously we're present in more than 170 countries. So as I said, that this is a long-term partnership. Like this initiative started off very small in Pakistan, but we're in our year 2 and it's only going bigger, and we are going to, and the best part of this is that we're not restricted to any industry. Like a lot of initiatives might just be concentrating on, let's say, the textile industry or the manufacturing sector. Our restriction is not limited to any industry. So it depends on the nature of the organization, depends on the benefit that project is incorporating, and it depends on how many sustainable development goals. And last but not the least, I again want to emphasize that we do not want the organization to leverage on the environment at the cost of their business. So we want them to be profitable, but at the same time adapt technologies which can, again, the cost of acquisition, something that we can facilitate with our funding structure. The long-term sustainability comes with how we facilitate or finance their project through our various financial institutions all across the world. But again, to sum up, the biggest challenge in Pakistan at the moment in terms of going environment friendly is not the willingness. The will is definitely there. The cost aspect is something that the organizations do worry about. But the most important question is the acquisition of the technology. That, again, depending on the nature of the problem, is becoming the biggest hurdle at the moment for us.
Okay. So, being the representative of your Dutch Fund for Climate and Development, हारिस मलिक साहब, ये बताइए कि क्या यूरोप के लिए इस वक्त मुश्किल है कि ये यूरोपियन कंट्रीज के लिए खास तौर पे या कि जो स्पॉन्सर्ड कंट्री है कि वो पाकिस्तान में इस टेक्नोलॉजी को कहीं इंट्रोड्यूस करवा सकें, या इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग द मनी डिशिंग द मनी आउट टू द बिजनेसेस, क्या आप वहाँ के एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली टेक्नोलॉजीज को पाकिस्तान में इंट्रोड्यूस करवा सकते हैं, या कोशिश ऐसी करी है आपने, या कोई आप एग्जांपल देंगे कि जहां आपने इस टाइप की एफर्ट्स हुई हो पाकिस्तान ने अपने प्रोजेक्ट में?
We don't execute the project ourselves. We execute the project in partnership with the local organization which qualifies. So we have an extensive qualification process where we take in, let's say, concept notes, evaluate what the organization wants to do and how it aligns with our goals. Then we understand that importing technologies, let's say from European countries, would be very expensive.
Uh-huh.
Keeping in mind that how the exchange rate is affecting our economy, we do not want to put such restrictions that ये technology है यही आप incorporate करें. We give them the freedom to explore and see which is the most cost effective solution, keeping in mind that it does not affect the quality of the project. And then again, what we bring on the table is the technical expertise. So, and the guidance and the extensive knowledge of doing successful projects all across the world. So, our goal is to facilitate the change through the local organizations, not to enforce the change by making those organizations follow certain practices, which we think might not be the best course of action at the stage at which the organization is when they start working with us.
So, चलते चलते हारिस मलिक साहब जरा ये भी बता दीजिए प्लीज कि how many projects you are involved with right now with the businesses?
Right now, we are facilitating 2 projects, and those projects will be ending, or they've we divide them into 3 phases. So phase 2 is where we do piloting. So we have 2 projects which are in the pilot stage in Pakistan. By January 2024, we will have a bigger pool of resources, and we want to again incorporate as many organizations and as many diverse sectors within our business sphere that we can facilitate, because we just don't want to be restricted with, let's say कि अभी for example हम एक manufacturing company के साथ या एक automobile manufacturing company के साथ काम किया, so it doesn't mean that we'll always work with automobile manufacturers या अगर textile के साथ किया हर दफा textile के साथ, it doesn't mean that we're not going to. It means that we're trying to set up precedents where the organizations can be more environmentally responsive and friendly, and at the same time do not affect their business acumen or their business goals.
Before I go towards Nabila, I would like to pose one question to you also. One more question, Harif Malik Saab. ये बताइए कि being the representative of WWF and working on this prestigious project of DFCT, you must have been encountering, or you must have been experiencing the government officials. What and how the government policies and regulations are encouraging businesses to adopt environmental friendly technologies. Considering your projects and considering the expertise you have gained, your collective expertise of WWF, and is staying with the government, how, in your opinion, the government policies, number one, are they there? If they are there, and the policies and regulations, are they encouraging businesses to adopt environmental friendly technologies? So please, let's.
Yes. So as far as the willingness is concerned, yes, the willingness is definitely there. They do encourage businesses to adapt more environmental friendly practices. As far as policies are concerned, I think we're still in the evolving stage. While they do have certain policies and they do facilitate businesses in terms of resources or acquisition of technology, they do provide subsidies, or they facilitate us if we want to import anything in order to better serve the needs of the organization, better serve the environmental goals that we have aligned for our project. But there is a lot of gap. I feel that there is a gap between what the government is trying to implement versus what the business owners' requirements are. So what we do is through different interventions, where we also try to, using the global forum or different aspects of WWF Pakistan as well, we try to encourage and bring as many stakeholders as possible. So we did an extensive mapping of all the stakeholders involved in our project. We did different sessions with them. But again, it's a very extensive endeavor that we've taken in place, and trying to map each stakeholders, government being one of the stakeholders, the provincial government, the different institutions of government who are involved in facilitating or in certain case monitoring the aspects of businesses or monitoring the aspects of project. The engagement aspect is something that we want to stress upon more, and that is one of the things that we feel that we are concentrating on, but we need to put in a much larger effort. Because to sum up the question, yes, the willingness is there. Yes, the government wants these practices to be adapted. Yes, the attitude is right. It's just bringing all the stakeholders, because we want everybody to be on the same page. Sometimes that can be a problem. When the intention is always good, but the problem is getting everybody's consent or getting everybody on the same page is where the problem happens.
Haris Malik Sahab, should I take that yes, willingness is there, they want to do it, but still they are lacking in policies and regulations. Am I right in saying that?
I think that's an evolving practice. ठीक है, इसमें जितनी ज्यादा engagement बढ़ेगी between government and business owners and institutions like WWF and different other non-governmental organizations which are practicing in environmental practices in Pakistan, encouraging environmental practices, the gap needs to be reduced. Then only we will have much bigger success.
Okay, that's very good answer. Before I go to Nabila, I'll give you one question. लेकिन इसका जवाब आप मुझे बाद में दे दीजिएगा. Given I'll come back after Nabila to you. मैं सिर्फ ये मालूम करना चाहता हूँ, हारिस मलिक साहब, that consider your own background, consider your own educational efforts, background, and आपने जो इतना तजर्बा हासिल किया है, and you are with the now WWF. मैं सिर्फ ये मालूम करना चाह रहा हूँ कि in Pakistan, how business can collaborate with education institutes, research institutions, and other stakeholders to develop new environmental friendly technologies. आपने कहा ना कि अगर हम यूरोप से मंगवाएंगे तो that will be very expensive ball game हम import करें. लेकिन पाकिस्तान में there are so many engineering institutes जो कि research की facilities भी offer कर रहे हैं. पाकिस्तान का कोई engineering यूनिवर्सिटी ऐसी नहीं है जहां फाइनल ईयर का प्रोजेक्ट ना दिया जाता हो स्टूडेंट्स को. And some of the institutes are very doing a remarkable job in establishing the various projects. Like I have gone through NAD. हमने देखा है कि जो 4 year का या it's called final year project, वो बड़ा remarkable होता है और उसके अंदर स्टूडेंट बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं और काम कर रहे होते हैं. Same thing with the NUST के तो प्रोजेक्ट्स मैंने देखे हैं तो they are really बहुत ही excellent प्रोजेक्ट होते हैं. आदमी यकीन नहीं कर सकता कि हमारे बच्चे इतना जबरदस्त काम कर रहे होंगे. तो having this background in mind and your professional background and considering the WWF entire exposure you have right now, मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये होगा, आप उसको थोड़ा मुझे अच्छा जवाब दीजिएगा इंशाल्लाह, और I'm sure you can throw a very good light on it, कि how businesses can collaborate with education institutes. ये जो इंस्टीट्यूट और इंडस्ट्री का जो कनेक्शन है वो कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं कि हम अपने इकोनॉमिकल, शुड आई यूज द वर्ड चीप टेक्नोलॉजी, जो कि एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली टेक्नोलॉजी हो, वो लेकर आया जा सके और उसके नतीजे के अंदर हमारे बिजनेस को एडवांटेज हो. तो I'll come to you on for this answer of this question. So let me go back to Nabila. Madam Nabila, if I ask you this question के आप अपने चूंकि रिप्रेजेंट कर रही हैं बिजनेस को, हाउ बिजनेस मेजर द एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ देयर टेक्नोलॉजी एडॉप्शन, जो आपने अभी बताया कि कुछ आपने अडॉप्ट की टेक्नोलॉजी, तो आप इसको बताइए कि किस तरह से आप लोग मेजर करते हैं कि इसको आपने जो बेनिफिट आपने लिए हैं, जो टेक्नोलॉजी आपने अडॉप्ट की है, उसका जो बेनिफिट्स हैं वो को मेजर कैसे कर रहे हैं आप उसको, कि इम्पैक्ट कैसे पड़ रहा है एनवायरमेंट का आपके बिजनेसेस के अंदर, आपके बिजनेस में. आप ये जरा बताइए मैडम नबीला. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
The question is how we adaptation of environmental friendly technologies. Basically what we are doing is we have
इम्पैक्ट कैसा है इसका, आपका एनवायरमेंट के ऊपर आपका इम्पैक्ट कैसा है, इसको कैसे आप मेजर कर रही हैं आप?
सर बेसिकली एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन, ठीक है ना. हम CO2 रिडक्शन के ऊपर we work on the CO2 reduction. We have adopted different technologies, different ways how we can reduce our energy consumption. Energy consumption basically in automobile sector is the use of electricity, utilization, diesel consumption, and natural gas. So basically, what we have done, for example, very simple example is first off we have generators. आपको पता है कि Karachi में usually we face the high load sheddings in the summer. And
जी जी
so we have the generators, like 550 kV generator in the plant, which has to run the plant if we don't get the normal electricity. So we have synchronized those generators. So जब भी आपकी जितनी यूटिलाइजेशन होती है, जितनी नीड होती है, इतने जनरेटर्स जो है ना वो रन कर रहे होते हैं. Before that, वो जितने भी जनरेटर थे, for example, if you have the need of 200 kV in the plant, but the 550 kilowatt generator has been run. After that, we utilize synchronize those generator. इसी तरह जो मैंने आपकी presentation share की थी कि we have replaced the normal lights with the energy savers light. So all these things have help in reducing our energy conservation. Definitely have the operating cost of reduced होता है. We have adopted different waste management, like minimization and control factor. तो इसमें एक आपका जो brand image होता है ना, if you going on the competitor side, ठीक है ना, your competitor, you and the business, you're doing very well, both your competitor and you, but you always have an edge if you go on the sustainability development. और आप जहाँ बताते हैं अपने customers को, clients को कि or not only you're like producing so many productions and doing so many good in businesses, you're also doing something for the community, for the sustainability, for the environment. It always give an edge on your business, edge on the competitors, definitely. तो ये आपके लिए एक पॉजिटिव वो होता है. सेकेंडली एक हेल्थी है ना, एक आपका इन्वायरमेंट बहुत प्रमोट होता है. मतलब इफ यू आर यूजिंग डिफरेंट इन्वायरमेंटल टेक्नोलॉजीज, आपके एम्प्लॉयज बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस होते हैं कि you're not the typical conventional activities going on. You're adopting different technologies, you're adopting different ways, and you are also facing and giving promotions for the other like business environment to give a better image of the company. So that's how we're doing it.
ओके ओके. तो इसके अलावा आपने जो डीजल जनरेटर्स को आपने रेगुलेट किया हुआ है और अपने दीगर उसको इक्विपमेंट्स को रेगुलेट करके यू आर गेटिंग द बेनिफिट ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी. आप मुझे ये बताइए कि ये एक बेनिफिट तो आपने मुझे बता दिया. मुझे आपका जो सप्लाई चेन है जो ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री में होता है, आई नो इट इज अ वेरी ह्यूज सप्लाई चेन, वेरी बिग सप्लाई चेन. एट वन एंड यू हैव द सप्लायर जो कि आपको रॉ मटेरियल सप्लाई कर रहे हैं, एंड द सेकंड हैंड पे आपके पास वो लोग हैं जो कि आपके लिए ऑटो पार्ट्स बना रहे हैं. एंड आई नो दैट देयर इज अ वेरी मच कम्युनिटी ऑफ ऑटो पार्ट्स मैन्युफैक्चरर इन पाकिस्तान, जिसने पाकिस्तान की इंजीनियरिंग बेस को काफी हद तक जिंदा रखा हुआ है. दे आर ऑल्सो मेंबर ऑफ योर सप्लाई चेन. इसके अलावा आपके पास कुछ सप्लाई चेन के जो मेंबर हैं वो जो है पाकिस्तान से बाहर हैं, चाइना में हैं, आपके जापान में हैं और मलेशिया में, थाईलैंड वगैरह में हैं. मुझे बताइए, अगर हम उनको बाहर निकल जो ममालिक हैं उनको भी हम थोड़ी देर के लिए साइड में रखें, इन पाकिस्तान योर सप्लाई चेन जो है उसको आपने कितना इम्पैक्ट डाला है बाय adopting environmental friendly technologies? Have you ever tried to convince your supply chain people that these are the benefit to adopt the various measures in order to be a environmental friendly organization. किस तरह से आपने उनको एक जिम्मेदार शहरी और जिम्मेदार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाने में उनकी हेल्प करी है? तो कैन यू प्लीज कम अप विद सम आइडियाज ऑन इट काइंडली?
Okay. So first of all, when you're focusing on the local vendors, local suppliers, so we know very well that local suppliers, there's all kind of class of vendor suppliers. First and the most important thing is educating them. So what we have adopted is Hinopak initiative this a long time back. Okay, we're not only educating our employees, but also our business partner interested parties. Like for annual basis, per we have like conducted different environmental education programs at our vendors. Yeah, giving them educating at what is environmental conservation and how their product, businesses impact the environment and what simple technology, simple way they can adopt without having too much investment. How can they improve their environmental areas and the technologies? For example, reduction of packaging material. It's very simple. So you can utilize what if they're not providing any materials to any equipment, parts to us, we have asked them to utilize the packaging materials. Reusing again, then reusing the packaging material. कि भाई अभी cartons आ रहे थे and we're disposing those cartons to a landfill. Then we ask them to refill those cartons. ठीक है? For example, we have suppliers, we have contract with the oil companies. जिसके अंदर we are using the different oils जो automobiles में होते हैं, आपके engine oils है, brake oils and other oils been used, and then they are reused. Those drums are returned back to those supplier and they refilled it. So instead of discarding those bins, those we are again refilling those. So these are the certain things we have educated them. We have given the awareness how they issues they can adopt those different technologies like different ways. पे इसी तरह हम इनको प्रमोट कर रहे होते हैं चीजों को, इनको अपनी यहाँ भी लाकर अपनी प्रेमिसेस में भी डिफरेंट इनसे काइजेंस शेयर करते हैं. Basic this kaizen is basically the Japanese term which means small improvement. The environmental kaizen we have adopted, we have done in the organization or premises. We encourage them to do at their own. So one of the way, logistics suit is very important. जो आप देखते जो आपके व्हीकल्स जो एमिट कर रही होती है, इट्स ऑल्सो पोल्यूट एयर एमिशंस, एयर और ऑल्सो जो आपकी डीजल जो या आपके जो पेट्रोल होता है, इट्स ऑल्सो पोल्यूटिंग द एनवायरनमेंट. तो वी फोकस ऑन द मैक्सिमम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन लॉजिस्टिक्स CO2 कि बेसिकली स्टेप जितना भी आपके ट्रक साइज होता है, आपके व्हीकल साइज में मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइज जो आपकी लोड कैपेसिटी अगर आप ले रहे होते हैं, तो आपकी अगर आप using the logistics 2 or twice in a day, you can use it once in a day, and it reduces the CO2 logistics CO2. This is one of the ways we are doing it.
Okay, all right. So one of my question would be to you again. इसी को मैं देखता हूँ अगर आगे बढ़ूँ कि what are some of the benefits for you that adopt environmental friendly technologies? आपने उसमें कितना benefit अभी तक हासिल किए होंगे? तो please would you like to share some of your benefit Hinopak has gained after adopting these environmental friendly technologies in Hinopak? So would you please, starting, maybe you can guide us and tell us how you have educated your employees, how you have educated your, as you just mentioned, you have educated your supply chain business partners. What other benefits you have gained after applying this environmental friendly technologies?
Okay, for this, I think I'll be again sharing my presentation, which will
Yeah, please.
definitely will
If
answer
you have
this.
kindly, okay, you
Yes,
can.
yes, please. So basically, as we said, the key parameters which we have, like reporting the CPES in environment protecting activities and Hinopak Japan principle is the CO2 consumption, material discard, water conservation, and applicable legislations. How we're promoting the environment initiative activities that you have asked for, which, as I've told, for the business communities, is the celebration June month activities. We also celebrate the World Water Day, Earth Day, plantation activities we do, and different beach clinic activities. So
Okay, all right.
basically, first of all, the most important is an organization to know what is the significant environmental aspect and its impact. The basic Hinopak, the main environmental aspect is the energy consumption. Second is the
Uh-huh.
explosion, fire, and hazardous waste. These are the three main environmental aspect against which we have adopted different, we have made different KPIs, and we are working on the control and mitigation on those environmental aspects and their impacts.
Excuse me,
So,
ma'am.
yes,
What is this? Your 49%? Can you go back to the previous slide? Yes. Energy consumption 49%. What does it indicate?
49% is basically the 100% consumption of the energies. Overall environmental aspect, 49% is the environmental aspect of the on the energy side.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
To Hi, these are some of the legal requirements we are fully compliant with, like wastewater testing, combustion energy, emissions, ambient air, and all the. We're actually complying with all the CEPA local and regulations.
Uh-huh. So
Yes.
these are the legal compliances
Yes.
established by the local government, means
Yes, CEPA.
provincial government or federal government.
No,
Or
provincial
both.
government under the provincial. Basically, we
Provincial
are
government.
yes, we
Okay,
have to
okay,
comply
okay.
with the CEPA Act.
All right. Okay. Sin Environmental Protection Act, जो है SIPA.
Exactly of the
Okay.
18th Amendment now.
Okay.
So it is a concept introduced, educated to our employees is modernize, do not waste where possible. Basic modernize is minimize the waste. They conserve
Mm-hmm.
energy.
This Mutanai is a Japanese word. Am I right?
Yes, is a Japanese
Okay.
word.
All right. We can
So
see that.
we are focused on conserving energy, saving water, recycling where possible, and housekeeping. So these are the simple, steps we have introduced, and we are following in our premises in Hinopak. We are giving awareness, and the same has been shared with the stakeholders, with our
Okay.
vendors, with our dealers to promote and to adopt these steps and ways.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's really some of them are very remarkable, Google, though they are very simple, but remarkable
Yes.
achievement, I believe. Yes. Okay.
So
Benefits,
we
good
have
benefits.
a state-of-the-art wastewater treatment plant. We have two premises, two plants. One is chassis assembly plant, the other is body manufacturing plant. In both the plants, we have our own treatment plant, designed and fabricated by our own engineers, and which is working on the both biological and chemical treatment facilities.
I
And
see.
apart from this treatment plant, is fully equipped, is meeting all the applicable and legal and other requirements. The It's not only meeting compliant with the legal requirement, we also utilizing the treated water in our gardening. So water conservation also be fulfilled. Secondly, we have our own environmental laboratory, which has been used to maintain the performance of the WWTP, and we analyze the water quality on daily basis. Now, let me tell you something that As per the Environmental Protection Act, SEPA requirement, we have to report to SEPA our wastewater effluent data on biannual basis, right? But
Okay.
as per our Hinopak Japan requirement, we have to send them our wastewater effluent data on monthly basis. And we are monitoring our wastewater effluent data, like, the COD, BOD, TDS, TSS, pH, chlorine, Vahara on daily basis. So we have our own environmental laboratory. We have qualified person, operator who is skilled to perform this testing, monitoring, and we're keeping the data. So we are continuously on daily basis, step 3 to 5. We're continuously monitoring our environmental, activities. कि हम किस तरह में if there's any ups and downs, we can easily point out and we have to take the proper action against it.
तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ मैडम कि आप जो ट्रीटेड वाटर सप्लाई कर रही हैं अपने गार्डन में, तो जो गुड वाटर आपको मिल रहा है वो सेव भी हो रहा है. तो यू हैव टू वे सेविंग राइट नाउ, आई बिलीव दैट यू आर यूजिंग दैट ट्रीटेड वाटर फॉर योर गार्डनिंग, और आप गार्डनिंग में जो गुड वाटर है वो कहीं और इस्तेमाल कर रहे होंगे. एम आई राइट? आपका जो वाटर कंजम्पशन है वो रिड्यूस हो गया होगा. अच्छा,
वाटर कंजम्पशन डेफिनेटली हमारे
अनदर बेनिफिट. ओके, ओके, दैट्स ग्रेट, दैट्स ग्रेट. ये आपकी वाकई जो एग्जांपल्स हैं मुझे बहुत जबरदस्त लग रही हैं. वुड यू बी एबल टू लीव दिस एंड PPT for us, so maybe we can share it with our various पाकिस्तान में हमारे we have more than 80 members in Pakistan, तो हम उसको साथ शेयर करना चाहेंगे. तो काइंडली अगर ये आपका कॉन्फिडेंशियल ना हो तो would you be able to leave this assignment, this PPT for us?
Yes, sure. After this session, we'll mail it to the concern. Okay, sir?
Please, thank you, thank you.
Should I continue?
Go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, some of the जो हमारी बात हुई थी कि क्या technologies हैं, very simple cousins we have adopted. Like firstly, we were using the normally जो हम लोग करते हैं कि 36 watt of bulb being utilized, tube lights being used in the offices in different areas. We are total we were utilizing 25,661 kilowatt of electricity per year. Mm-hmm. We have replaced it with the simple LED tube lights of from 36 watt to 14 watt. So the CO2 reduction has been done, approximately 7,700 now. So not only this impact on the energy conservation, it's also definitely have the impact on their cost.
Okay, Madam Nabila, really I've got very good आपका जो benefits हैं वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा मुझे लगा है, और definitely you would have more examples. So लेकिन चूंकि I'm got a issue of time also, लेकिन let me go back to Mr. Haris again. मैंने हारिस साहब से रिक्वेस्ट की थी कि मुझे आप हेल्प करें प्लीज. हारिस साहब आप काइंडली एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट से आप जरा बताएं काइंडली.
Okay, so I've been involved with education institutes myself as well, and like two educational institutes in particular that you mentioned, us and NAD, like they do have quality research as far as engineering is concerned. But I think environmental issue is not just to be addressed by engineering universities. I mean, the technology aspect is there, but an overall involvement or addressing of the environment requires involvement of business schools, for example. My background has been in business schools, so there is where the research element lacks, because I see the problem is that when we
Haris, one minute, we are having some trouble background information.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, just
go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, very, very clear and loud. Very good.
Yes. So, like I mentioned, that talking about the educational institutes, the issue is that as far as research is concerned, yes, the education institutes do incorporate research as one of the major, like you mentioned, that final year project, or it's major part of their degree. But I always talk about objective oriented research. So a lot of research is like, we don't want to bog down our students to concentrate on just a particular aspect of research. But what I feel is that in a lot of times, research is done just as part of their curriculum, or that's something that they have to do in order to get their degree. So if we can find and I also feel that as I mentioned, that when we're talking about stakeholders, so they are also one of the stakeholders. The universities or the educational institutions should also be made stakeholders. So I feel that there's a gap between the industry and the educational institutes as well, with what the educational institutes uh, are incorporating. Theoretical aspects is very nice, and we do get a reflection of them in a few projects as well. But overall, one good project here and there is not going to do the trick. So we need to find out or facilitate a mechanism in which all universities, or there should be an engagement between business institution or business owners and university, and there should be a proper forum to facilitate that. So one odd intervention is not going to help. So while we do end up getting a few quality projects, by and large, it's the gap between one good project or one good initiative and the next one. So it might come sooner or it might come later, or at certain times there will be a lean period where we will not have this. So we need to come up with a mechanism in which the educational institutions and business owners need to sit down and tell them that this is the industrial requirement, or this is what we're doing, and these are the kind of resources we want you to develop. ये एक मैं जर्नल बात कर रहा हूँ. It's not just limited to the environment. ये बहुत आपने एक बड़ा Pandora box खोल दिया, and there can be a big discussion, or we can have a separate session on this. But I feel that this gap needs to be addressed, and the sooner we start addressing this gap, where what the industry requires and what the educational institutions provide, the better it is for our not just the quality of the human resource, but in the long ripple effect, it's going to affect the economy of Pakistan. It's going to facilitate more and more business endeavors to be initiated, because in the last so many years we have, I think, as a nation, come up somewhere we have had that creativity roadblock as such, that we're not enhancing our potential to what we are capable of. And I feel that we're capable of doing great things.
Considering what you have said, Haris साहब, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि you have already really opened another way, or showed us another way to have a very extensive collaboration with the environment, with the businesses at one end, and the education institutes on the other end. Now, you just mentioned some time back in this meeting कि अगर हम टेक्नोलॉजी को इंपोर्ट करते हैं यूरोपियन कंट्री से, तो दैट विल बी वेरी वेरी एक्सपेंसिव फॉर पाकिस्तान. लेकिन आपके तवसत से, WWF के तवसत से, या आपका जो DFCD है, इसके तहत अगर कोई ऐसा आप करें कि जिसमें कम से कम पैसे लगाकर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट को फंडिंग करके आप नई टेक्नोलॉजीज को, यहाँ पर सस्ती टेक्नोलॉजीज को इनकॉर्पोरेट करवा सकें, इजाद करवा सकें, और उसको पाकिस्तान की इंडस्ट्री में इन्वॉल्व कर सकें, तो यू थिंक दैट विल बी मच मोर वैल्यूएबल प्रोपोजिशन फॉर यू टू ऑफर?
Yes, I think our role should be enhanced. It cannot just be like, if we talk about evolution of this particular project to make a larger difference. Again, जब हमने start किया था, तो we spoke about the financial viability, but we need to also concentrate on the social and the environmental aspect. So I go with for my definition, or the definition that we adopt for sustainability, is triple bottom line. So it has to be financially viable, has to be environment friendly, and has to be socially responsible. So it has to cater to the society in large. सर्वाइवेबिलिटी आपके बिजनेसेस की तभी है जब आपकी लोकल फैब्रिकेशन हो. द टेक्नोलॉजी or the transfer of the technology, or the technology in large, has to be homegrown. We cannot rely on import, and we've seen what is happening to our economy when we are heavily reliant on import. Our forex is dropping, and we do not have the luxury anymore to just import anything that we want. We need to start working on initiatives like take environmental practices. There can be again, like I said, that as a nation, we're capable of achieving great things. It's just that we have to take the first step. So let's talk about problem solving ability. I feel that Pakistanis are the biggest or the most adaptive nation in the world. You see the kind of problems we're facing, and we're still surviving. And we are like we go towards finding solutions. So we are problem solvers. So when we incorporate these two talents of resilience and problem solving, I think there can be something done. And I think that's the way forward for us. And again, coming back to the educational institutes, the sooner we realize that there's a gap between the businesses and the educational institute, the better it is for us, because we can ignore this problem, or we have been ignoring this problem for a very long time. And that is where our quality resources or quality human resources are not available, or we cannot tap into that. And then they get demotivated, and the ones who have the opportunity then move on. Like, again, the thing is that when a lot of expats are very successful, so why can't they be successful over here? So I think we need to set our priorities right. And with the particular initiative, or with what a small role our organization can play, or coming under our scope of work, or enhancing the scope of work, I want to play an active role in that.
Okay. अच्छा हारिस साहब, मेरे एक सवाल आपको भी है और नबीला को भी है. See, I'm very much son of soil. I was born and raised in Karachi. I'm Karachiite. So I love my city very much. Really, मैं कहीं भी चला जाऊँ, मैं न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में भी घूम रहा हूँ, लेकिन मुझे कराची गलियां ज्यादा अजीज होंगी. ये मेरी नेचर में. मैं कहना चाह रहा था कि कराची के अंदर अभी चंद साल पहले अर्बन फॉरेस्ट का जो है वो कॉन्सेप्ट डेवलप हुआ था. आई एम श्योर दैट WWF would be knowing about it. तो ये तो लिंक नहीं करता, लेकिन somehow कराची में जो सूरत हाल है एनवायरनमेंट की, और अगर हम इसको अर्बन फॉरेस्ट के कॉन्सेप्ट को मजीद आगे लेके चलें, तो क्या यू थिंक क्या ऐसे कोई आपकी मालूमात है, कुछ हेल्प करेंगे इस मामले में, आप कुछ गाइड करेंगे कि कहाँ तक पहुंचा?
हाँ, मैं थोड़ा सा अपना इस पे व्यू शेयर कर देता हूँ. आई मीन लाइक plantation, see, if we just limit ourselves to the challenges of Karachi city, plantation करना इतना challenging नहीं है जितना उस plantation को sustain करना है long term growth में, because we have very little rainfall, and when we do, then it's a downpour, and then we have either there's no rain or there's urban flooding. So urban flooding wale scenario mein we have no way to conserve the rainwater, and it ends up going downstream or in the sea or in the traditional sewage mechanism. The other aspect is, can we, with the limitation we have with the water resource, enhance the environmental or the plantation aspect of our city? That has to be again carefully researched, because we did have an incident where I know it's a more rumor oriented, but people like to believe certain rumors. Certain quality, a certain type of tree actually negatively impacted the environment rather than enhancing the environment or enhancing. Yeah. So we need to research about what kind of trees or what kind of plantation we want in our city. Like, let's take the example of New York, and there is minus the Central Park, there is very limited place where you can actually do plantation endeavors. So they have come up with eco-friendly buildings where rooftops can be converted into gardens. I think similar sort of initiatives can also be done in Karachi, where we have a lot of business owners having huge buildings across different business avenues, where plantation can be done, or urban forestry for that matter can be done. So these sort of initiatives have to be encouraged, and not just Karachi in general. I think all over Pakistan, we have been one of the unfortunate countries to get the blunt of damage we're, dif- we're facing as a consequences of global warming and climate change. So while we cannot do much about what others are doing, what we can do much about is what we can do on a small scale or on a local scale, and then take it on from there. So let's start with one area, one
Yeah,
city, and then move it all across. Again, with one particular initiative that comes into mind was the Billion Tree Tsunami. Again, that was a good
जी,
initiative, but uh, my take on this is that not every plant can survive in every environment. So we need
सही.
to be and we need to collaborate with different horticultural institutions and environmental aspects in coming up with the idealistic sort of plantation or how we approach this.
या इसमें मुझे ख्याल आया भी, जैसे मैडम नबीला अपने कंपनी की एक्सपर्टीज शो कर रही थी कि उनके पास वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट है और दो प्लांट्स हैं, उन्होंने दोनों प्लांट रखे हुए हैं, और वो न सिर्फ अपने इस पानी को गुड क्लीन वाटर को बाहर फेंक रही हैं, बल्कि अपने गार्डन को भी इस्तेमाल कर रही हैं. तो आपने ये देखा होगा हारिस मलिक साहब, जो लियारी एक्सप्रेसवे है, ये मेरा ख्याल है कोई 20 से 22 किलोमीटर का लंबी पट्टी है, जहाँ से ये पूरा वेस्ट वाटर जो है गुजर रहा है, जो मुख्तलिफ इंडस्ट्रीज का पानी आता है और जा रहा होता है, और ये रंग बदल रहा होता है पूरे 20-25 किलोमीटर के अंदर. तो हैविंग दिस काइंड ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज, व्हाट हिनोपाक की जो नबीला मैडम फरमा रही थी कि वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट अगर इस पूरे पट्टी पर लगा दिया जाए, लाइक ये जो लियारी एक्सप्रेस वे है, 2 या 3 या 4 प्लांट, और वो जो पानी गुजर रहा है उसको ट्रीट करके, जैसे आपने भी खुद फरमाया कि हमारे पास लगाने का मसला नहीं है, लेकिन हमें वी हैव द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग क्लीन वाटर टू देम. So using the expertise of the business, what they have acquired right now, and there are so many tanneries in Karachi, जिन्होंने ये जो वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लगाया है जस्ट टू फुलफिल द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ सीपा, उनकी एक्सपर्टीज को हासिल करते हुए अगर वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट ये लियारी एक्सप्रेस में लगाया जाए, और आपकी जो एक्सपर्टीज है एनवायरनमेंट के हवाले से WWF की, वो उसको गेन किया जाए, एक कोलैबोरेटिव मूव की जाए, तो आपका क्या ख्याल है कि कराची में एक 22 से 20-22 किलोमीटर लंबा जंगल वजूद में अगर आ जाए, तो कराची को कितना जबरदस्त किस्म का एक एनवायरनमेंट मिल जाएगा, बेहतरीन किस्म का. और ये एक बड़ी चौड़ी पट्टी भी है, लंबी भी है, चौड़ी पट्टी भी है. दूसरे जो आपने अभी फरमाया कि जैसे न्यूयॉर्क में रूफ गार्डन्स हैं, अगर गवर्नमेंट अभी लोगों की कैफियत में आपने खुद फरमाया कि दे आर इट इज इवॉल्विंग प्रैक्टिस बाय द गवर्नमेंट, इन्होंने कोई पॉलिसीज वगैरह नहीं बनाई है, लेकिन अगर उनको कहा जाए कि आप कराची में अगर वो पॉलिसी बता दें कि भाई आप 4 मंजिला बिल्डिंग बनाए, 6 मंजिला बनाए, 24 मंजिला बनाए, लेकिन रूफ गार्डन आपको लाते बनाना होगा, तो मे बी
बिल्कुल.
दैट कैन आल्सो हेल्प. तो वुड यू थिंक देयर इज अ पॉसिबल इंटरेक्शन इन फ्यूचर with only with respect to लियारी एक्सप्रेसवे, जिसके अंदर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट्स के अंदर हम जामा कराची को इन्वॉल्व करें, उनका जो बॉटनी डिपार्टमेंट है, उनके जो आपकी एक्सपर्टीज हैं, हिनोपाक जैसे इदारों की एक्सपर्टीज हैं, और फिर हम गवर्नमेंट को इन्वॉल्व करते हुए लियारी एक्सप्रेसवे के अंदर रेन फॉरेस्ट अर्बन फॉरेस्ट का कॉन्सेप्ट को मजीद इन लार्ज स्केल पे लेकर आ सकें. व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट?
I definitely think इसका technical evaluation की ज़रूरत है, but by and large, I will be supporting such an initiative because again that will create a huge difference, because as you mentioned कि वो 22 किलोमीटर की लंबी पट्टी है and it's moving all across the city, so it's cutting through the entire population regions and having an alternate to growing. It will be catering two problems at once. So I think that part of it makes very good sense. The other is why like roof gardens as a concept can work is because building owners or the organizations which are using or which are, they already have a mechanism to एक आपने लेट्स से 18 स्टोरी की बिल्डिंग बना दी है, तो आपके एक मैकेनिज्म डिवाइस होगा जो उसकी मेंटेनेंस और different day-to-day runnings को cater करे. So this can be an added task. So you don't have to create something extra just to facilitate those roof gardens, but you can enhance the role of that. And ये एक easy approach. It can be easily adapted and it can be easily replicated. So we need to start with, let's say do a model, and in that, I think WWF can play a role where we can identify let's say a building which can be a good test case scenario, and if they're willing to collaborate with us, we develop a roof garden and then show it that this is how we can proceed further. Because सिर्फ advocate करना और कहने से नहीं होगा. We need to again show them how it's done. Yeah, and that's where we believe that that's one of our core values at WWF.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हारिस मलिक साहब. रियली आई एम इम्प्रेस्ड. काइंड ऑफ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह पाकिस्तान में जब भी हम बात करते हैं तो ये मायूसी के बादल छटने लगते हैं. ईमानदार से बताऊं मैं आपको, बाद वक्त इतनी मायूसी फैलाई जाती है मीडिया के जरिए, लेकिन आप जैसे लोग, अब जैसे मैडम नबीला ने जो अपनी एफर्ट्स बताई हैं वो कि एक हिनोपाक में हो रही हैं, लेकिन आप जिस तरीके से काम कर रहे हैं, जो एक्सपर्टीज आपके पास है माशाल्लाह से, ये सब चीजें जब सामने आती हैं तो देखिए मैं बहुत कुछ टेक्निकल आदमी नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मुझे बैठे बैठे 2-3 ख्याल आ गए, मैंने आपसे शेयर भी कर लिए. आई एम वेरी पॉजिटिव कि आपके पास ज्यादा अच्छे बेहतरीन ख्याल होंगे. तो दुआ करते हैं अल्लाह ताला से कि अल्लाह ताला इन सब चीज़ों को हमें हेल्प करे और पाकिस्तान के एनवायरनमेंट को, हर किस्म के एनवायरनमेंट को बदलने में हमारी हेल्प करे, जो इस वक्त जो पोल्यूशन का शिकार है. और मे बी हम इसमें इंशाल्लाह कुछ आगे बढ़ के काम कर सकते हैं आपके साथ मिलकर. So with these few words, let me thank you and let me thank Madam Nabila for the valuable contribution, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure being part of this session. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Really, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. आपने वाकई अपना हक अदा किया है माशाल्लाह से दोनों हालात में. मुझे बड़ी खुशी हो रही है, ईमानदारी से बता रहा हूँ कि having you both guys here on board. Thank you very much for your being here, and I appreciate and hope that we will be getting back again soon, inshallah. Thank you very much. Okay, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.